Hi guys, today we're going to be having a look at how to crochet a puff flower. Now I'm a big fan of these. They're not only relatively simple things to crochet, but they're very versatile. There's a lot of different things that you can do with them. These ones that you can see just here on the screen are from a very big pile that I'm currently making to stitch together to make a nice thick padded blanket, but they also make lovely embellishments or individual pieces that you can attach to things like keychains, key rings. So anyway, a nice piece that we're going to be having a look at making today. So to begin with, what we'll need to do is make the center of the flower, the ring that goes in the middle, as you can see there. So what we'll need is our hook and some nice bright yellow yarn. Let's just move those out of the way. Right, so to begin we will need to attach our yarn to our hook. So what we're going to do is extend our first finger and wrap the short end of our yarn around once and twice. Then going to take the back loop and pull it over the front loop, and what was the front loop and is now the back loop all the way over our finger and pull it tight. Then going to take our hook and pop it through the loop there and tighten it on. So we're going to now form a chain. There's going to be a chain of 4 for this one. So wrap the yarn around your little finger and then pull it around the rest of your fingers so that you've got the ability to make some nice tight stitches and have control over the tension. Now pick up your yarn, turn your hook around to pick it up and pull it through the loop. And there's your first chain. Pick it up again, pull it through for the second chain, pick it up again, pull it through for the third, and pick it up again and pull it through for the fourth. Now what we want to do is make a little ring. So we're going to take our first chain that we made just here, and we're going to take our hook and we're going to pop it through one of the loops of that chain. So you can see there. Then going to pick up our yarn and pull it through both of those loops. There you go. What we've got here is a nice little ring. Now we find the centre of this ring. We can see because there'll be a chain going all the way around the outside, and pop our hook through the middle. What we're going to do is 12 double crochets into the centre ring. So picking up your yarn, hook over, pull through. So there's 2 loops on the hook, hook over, pull through. That's your first double crochet. So what you see is you've got this little loose bit of yarn from the beginning of your work sticking out the side. In order for it to be a bit neater later on, just try and crochet that into the pattern as you go. So hook through, pick up your yarn and through, hook through and through there, and that's 2 double crochets. So continue in the same pattern through the middle, pick it up, pull it through, pick it up and pull it through, and that's 3. So as you can see, this is getting sewn into the shape. Through, pick it up and through for 4. So we want 12 of those. So you can either follow along with me, or pause the video, or swipe it forwards a little bit if you're nice and quick. Right, so we need 12 double crochets all the way around the outside. So what we need to do is stop and count our work just to make sure. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's the end of our ring. So what we need to do now is join it together. So we're going to take our hook and push it through both loops of our first double crochet, look like that. Then I'm going to pick up our yarn and pull that through both the loops as well. Now at this point You can continue in the same colour and make the petals of the same colour as the centre. Depends what you want to use it for afterwards, whether you want to do that or not. But for the purpose of this one, we're going to give it some different colour petals. So we're going to need to snip. There we go. And then we're going to simply slip the yarn through and pull it tight. There you go, nice little central ring there. So as you can see, this loose bit of yarn here has already been neatly sewn in, so we can already at this point snip off the loose end. And this extra bit here is then going to be sewn back into the pattern. Okay, so for the next part we'll need our new colour. I'm going to use this nice bright blue. I am all for using very bright colours the first time that you practice any pattern, however experienced you are with crochet, because it's really easy with bright colours to see the stitches that you've made. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take our hook and pop it through one of our double crochets. Pick up your new yarn. Need a bit of a longer tail than that, and pull it through so there's a little loop sticking out. You then want to chain 3, so pick it up, pull it through for 1, pick it up, pull it through 2, pick it up, pull it through 3. So this is the basis of your first petal. What you want to do from here is try and get nice, neat, consistent petal shapes. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our yarn onto our hook, and we're going to push our hook through the same stitch again, pick up our yarn again, pull it back through and straighten so that the length of these pieces of yarn is almost but not quite as long as our chain here. And we're going to do it one more time. Pick it up. Now see, my 4th finger here is going to rest lightly on the yarn. That's going to enable me to keep these loose strands at a fairly uniform length as I go along. So I'm going to put my crochet hook back through the hole for the 3rd and final time and pull up nice and straight. I'm going to move on to the next stitch along, so yarn over, pop him through both loops there, pick up the yarn again and back through and up. So you want to do that 3 times. There you go. So that's the basis of your first petal. What you want to do now is finish that petal off. So if I just adjust my angle a little bit for you there. You now want to pick up the yarn and you're going to turn your hook over so that you can easily slide it through all of those stitches, including, you can see there, the initial chain. You're then going to pick up your yarn again and chain 1, 2. From here we're going to go into the next stitch along. Oh, that's the one next to where I tied off, so it's a little bit stiff. Pop that through there. Try not to go off camera. And pop the yarn through. We're then going to take that loop and pull it through the first one and just slip stitch it to the bottom. We're then going to start again, so repeat the pattern, so chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to hook over and through here, pick up the yarn and pull it back. So just like before, resting this 4th finger on the strands in order to keep a fairly consistent size. That's your final one in that stitch. So what we're going to do now is move on to the next stitch. So as you can see, this is the knot where I've finished the previous part of the pattern. So there can sometimes be a little fake stitch, as it were, in there, which can distract you, and you can put your hook through in the wrong place. So if you're in doubt at all, go back to the end of the pattern and count backwards. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. So my next stitch along is this big one here. So yarn over, through, pick it up, or drop it, and pull it through. Over, through, pick it up, and through, through, pick it up and through. I'm going to pick up our yarn again, pull it through all of our stitches and through the end loop and chain 1, 2, and then following just what we did before, we're going to go into the next stitch, pick up our yarn, pull it through and then pull that little loop through there to slip stitch it in. You can see that, and then we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. So if you've got the hang of it, feel free to skip ahead, but for the purposes of anyone who's not done this sort of thing before, you can follow along with me to finish as we go around the flower. I'm trying to exaggerate my movements so you can see, so I apologise I occasionally drift off the screen. Through there, and 1, 2, and dipping into the next stitch, pulling through, popping that there, and chain 1, 2, 3, over the top, and through, over, and through, and moving on to the next one. 1, 2, 3. Now what you can see, what happened there is I lifted off my finger a bit and I slightly lost the length of the stitch, so that's why I recommend that you try and keep it jammed in place there. 1, 2. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches left. If we'd have gone into that smaller stitch at the other point, we would have had an uneven number of spaces for our petals. Now I know that some people work that and make it look very pretty with the finished product, but I've found that for me it's easier to get a nice uniform look if you have an even number of places to put your stitches. So that's why I aim for that. So there's 2 stitches left. That comes through there, little hook through and chain 1, 2, 3, yarn over and through, 1 and 2, and the final space, 1, 2, 3. So you can see, because I've now run out of spare stitches, I've got a nice position to put my final chain 2 attaching to the first petal and closing my flower off effectively. So we're just going to slip through there and then we're going to cut off our thread. There you go. That's the back of your puff flower. And here's the front. So if you've got loose threads hanging out like I have on here, it's not a problem. Just take your hook, pop it through your work, pick it up, pull it through to the back, and pull that through there. Same thing here, hook through, pick up the thread, pull it through to the back. And there you have it, a little puff flower. Thanks for joining us, and I'll have more tutorials on puff flowers and the things that we can do with them in the future. See you later.